Hey, welcome to Mark's Basement Arcade. Today we are going to be doing some Williams System 3 to 6 display kit. Orange, specifically for Gorgar. Gorgar's main display did not work very well due to some bad digit outages and other like partial digits, so I had to get a new one. And what's better than getting a Wolfpack display kit? I love these things. You should know that by now. I've built several of them. We're just going to go through and see what we got. Main board. I always go through these kits. They're all hand put together, so sometimes a part may be missing, but don't fear, because Wolfpack is really good at replacing anything that's missing. Alright, we had 4 displays, player 1 through player 4. We got the main display, we got all the pads for the displays. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 for the little displays. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 4 is 28. We have all of them. And then we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 of these. And I'm supposed to have 14, but 16 is good. Should be 22 standoffs. I'm just going through the, I got this, all this stuff downloaded from years ago. How many of these are we supposed to have? 7. 7, we have 7. Let's just throw them in there. These are supposed to have 22. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Correct. We got some chips here. How many are we supposed to have? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 total chips. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9. This is 62083. 2 of them. We have 2. TO4N. Issue 3 of these. Okay, we got 3 of those. And what is this? It's 454 is 3BE. 2 of them, correct. And 48 CT541. 2 of them. All right. We have everything. And what are those 150 ohm or brown, green, black, black, brown. Brown, green, black, black, brown. Okay, those are all right. Okay, 45, 43. 45, 43 we need, which will go into U1. We have 2 of those. We'll go into U1 and U2. Now we'll go into U1 and U2. Alright. We'll get my little chip bender thing. This little something I bought off of eBay. U1 and U2. Let's make sure. 45, 43 goes into U1 and then U2. Okay. So we will get right on that. Yeah, this just you squeeze it together and it straightens the legs out. Somebody 3D printed it and selling them on. They were selling them on eBay and or Amazon or something. Anyways, it works beautiful for straightening chips. Let's get my thinner solder for this. There we go. I have thick solder, and then I have thin solder. And since these are little chips, I'm just going to use a thin solder. These you install, there's a groove on a chip. You install them up that way. Down all the way. This is what it's going to get. Get this other one in there right away. Grooves up. What I'm doing, I'm just using the edge of my, what do you call it, soldering area here to hold the chip up. I like to put my fan on. I'm going to pause this and get my fan going on. Blow the solder smoke away for me. Alright, got my fan on. See how it works. If I gotta point it in a different way or anything. And you just solder all these down. Notice I did one side of the board, one side of the chip and the other side of the chip. That way it holds it down on both ends. Makes it just easier to do. These boards by Wolfpack are just so easy to solder. It's almost crazy. I've done one of these before, which was on a Lucky 7. So there is a video out on this already. But some of you just might watch it because it's Gorgar. So I'm going to make a video just because it is Gorgar. Good. You won, you too. Alright, let's find out what our next chip is. U3 and U4 gets a 74 HTCO4. U3, U4, and U5. U3, 4, and 5 gets these chips. Alright, same thing. I'm going to put one of them in, and then I'll be back when I'm done. Make sure the groove that is on here matches the groove. See how it shows like a little cutout groove? There's actually one on a chip. That has to be perfect. You have to have all these grooves lined up, because otherwise you're going to put the chip in upside down. You don't want to do that. So we're going to get into soldering this in. You'll burn out a chip probably. You go backwards. My friend did it on accident. I think he burned out the chip. And another reason why I do this is because the legs are always bent on the chips where they're usually out too much like this. This thing squeezes them so they're straight like that, because normally they're like that. This will straighten the chips so they're like that, and they just drop down easily. I'll show you on this. See, they just won't go in. That's actually a bad one to show you on because it doesn't go there. These will not go in all the way because the legs are bent. So now if I take it, put it in here, squeeze it, usually will just drop in. There, see? It just makes it easier. Alright, well, I'm going to burn these in. What I mean by burn them in is I'm just going to solder them down. And then we'll be right back when I'm done soldering these. Alright, I got all the chips burned in / soldered in. I do have to clean the back of it off. As you can see, we got all the solder flux left on. And that just does not look good. So now we're going to get to the resistors. This is R1 all the way through R14. We have to put those in. We are done with the chip tool, so that can go back in its bag to be put away. Alright, now we need this tool. This is another thing I picked up off the internet. Just somebody 3D printed it. And what you do is you take your resistors. Let's put garbage there. And this is just a neat tool for bending your resistors. Just you go like that. Oh, I guess we'll zoom in on it. There, it just makes nice bends. Just go like that, and you just bend it over. And look at that. You just get a real nice bend out of it. It's got all different sizes that you can use. Somehow I just always end up using this one. I'll just do 3 of them right now. Alright, those are all nicely, awesomely bent. Now we're going to start putting them in 1 through 14. These can go in any way. However, I like to put them all in the exact same way. It just looks a little more professional when you're done. What I mean is, there's bands on here, and they're brown, black, black, green, black. So all of them are going to be exactly the same way. So if you put in one that's brown, green, black, black, brown, it's just like flipped over one. It looks kind of weird. And then these you just flip over the back like that, so they stay in. And then you just solder them down. And then they turn out like that, looking really neat and cool looking. Just don't like to do that one too much. To do that, I'll just feed a little more down onto it there. Alright, and then we take our little clippers here. We got a garbage can? No, we got a magnetic thing here. I'll just snip all these off. There. Those are in. They look pretty nice. Now I just got to do all the rest of them, so I'm going to pause it and then we'll be back when I'm done. Alright, all those turn out really super awesome. Like I said, we still got to do some cleaning. They're all nice and lined up, and all the colors of them are all lined up perfectly. Alright, so those are all burned in, soldered in. When you're using solder and you're just kind of like melting and burning. Alright, anyways, we got to put these in now. These are the capacitors, 1 through 7. And we got 7, so I'm going to put 1 in. These are all pre-bent already, so which is good. Just going to leave it like that. And we'll get it so it looks pretty, like that. We'll solder it in. Solder it down. Flip her over. Looks all nice and pretty there. Cut the ends off. And we'll lather, rinse, and repeat. I'll get the rest of them in, and then we'll be right back. Alright, I got all the caps on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're all on. The only thing left to do on this board is put the digits in. But I'm going to go and clean all the flux off this because these are just going to be easier to clean once this is all done. So I don't like getting these really wet. They're sealed and everything, but this I can scrub off, let dry, and then be done with it. So I'm going to go clean this stuff off and I'll be right back. Alright, we are nice and clean on the back now. All nice and clean. Rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and a toothbrush. That's all I use. Isopropyl alcohol and a toothbrush. Fluxion over water. Alright. Now the next is digits. Need 4 of them. These, as you notice, maybe we should zoom in a little bit. They all got dots on the bottom. Here, 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 here. Those all have to be on the bottom of the board. Like this. That's how they need to go in. I'm gonna get one in first. These can be kind of a bear to do sometimes. Not so much soldering in, it's just, as you can see, I'm resting on the ridge of this to hold it down flat. There is a trick to getting it flat. You just hold your thumb on it, or finger, and if they're not completely flat to the board, like how mine is, you can just hold it tight with your finger and then hit it with the soldering iron and loosen it up, and it will actually like snap. It'll make like a click noise that lets you know it's on a board. So as I showed you before, I do one at a time. You just want to make sure that they're all flat. And correct. Now there's a protective film on here too. There's a trick with that. You can either leave it on or take it off. I actually been leaving it on my last couple builds because it kind of gives a glass-like look in the display when it's done. You don't have to. Those I got all nice and flat. You don't have to because it's behind glass. However, and then these would go over it like that. That hides it. However, if you take this plastic off, see how they got that shine to them? You take this film off of them, it kind of makes them dull. I don't know. I've been leaving it on and taking it off. But since these are on now, we'll just go through and burn them all down. These are pretty easy to do too once you get the one corner done. You get the one corner done and you can just work your way down. That's what I do. So yeah, I just go to a laundry tub and use some isopropyl alcohol and a toothbrush. And then when I feel it's clean enough, I just spray it down with a little Dawn Power Wash. Dry it off really super good, and then it's done. Like that, all soldered down. Same thing with these slave boards. This is the bottom. As you can see, I do like to set them all up the way that they're going to go on the board. And then get them down. It's like 6 digits. I almost thought they were 5 for a second. Really? They did that so slick, and at the last second, they screwed up. Same thing with these. I got that one done already. I'm going to move over to this edge. Get that one done. I'm pushing down as I'm doing this. You want these tight up against the board. There. Those are tight up against the board. On this side, yeah. Those are all tight up against the board. Now the same thing. as I did on the other one. Just work your way down. Make assembly line. That's why I just do them kitty corner. That way I know they're all down and tight on the board. And you can just keep ripping all the way down like this. And just bridge those together. So I didn't clean my tip off. There. Gotta clean your tip off, people. Otherwise everything gets sloppy. Now you can buy these boards assembled. However, they were a lot more expensive. That's why I like these Wolfpack kits. I think this was like 120 bucks shipped. $120 shipped. That's crazy. That's it. Isn't that pretty? Now I got 4 more boards to do, and then I'm done, so I gotta clean these too. So we'll get to cleaning them and then we'll be back. Alright, we are back to these. I showed you why we're replacing them. So I'm going to be peeling all this film off. I've left it on in the past, and I don't know, I just felt like peeling it off on this machine for some reason. But leave this film on until you get everything cleaned. Once you get everything cleaned, then peel it off. Do not peel it off until you're done cleaning everything. I did stick these in my machine to test them, and they do all work. I do like doing that before I put this on. This way, if I got a bad display or something I gotta monkey around with and solder up, I don't have to worry about this stuff, because this is kind of like a one-time, one-shot deal. And these little pieces right here, save those. Those are good for back glasses. You put it on to replace the foam on your back glass, so where it rattles against the head. You put these on the backboard, and then when you put your back glass in, they won't rattle. Great for Gottlieb's. The wedge heads. There. That's done. We'll do one of these so you can see what I'm doing, how I do them. And then I'll do the rest of them. And then we'll get to putting them in the machine. These are not the easiest things to get off sometimes too. Just if you got pudgy little fingers. And that's why you see me using my little needle nose pliers. Lets me get up underneath them. So I can pull that adhesive off. Alright. And then again, pop these out. These are like all pre-cut, which is nice. And peel your backing off. Like I said, you get one shot at this, so I usually stand up on top right over them. Slowly set it down. Once I see all the digits are actually showing through, I put them on like that. Now remember, you cannot mix and match your old displays with your new displays. These all have to be swapped out at once. There's none of that game playing, swapping them around. You do this whole kit, and you put this whole kit in your machine at one time. So I'm going to get to getting all these off, and then we'll get to the machine. Alright, this is the big reason why we're replacing it, because I don't have a ball in play. Everything else works perfectly, all the plasma displays, except for this one is out. I don't know if it's burnt out or I got a bad chip or whatever on it, but that one doesn't work. So let me get the glass off and get some stuff moved around so we can get at replacing these. Alright, as you can see, I got 3 of them in already. So we're going to do these last couple together. This is a 1/4 inch drive, nut driver. And there's, if you lose any of these screws, they are number 6 screws by 32. So I had a couple that were missing. Well, 3. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 that are missing. So I just replaced them with new screws. And there's little itty bitty lock washers on here. I don't know if you really need them or not, because a couple of displays did not have them. And look at right here. Notice that? That's where these come in. Take one there. We'll put one right on top of it. Here. Now we'll replace the one that was wore off. Alright. Now there's nuts on here that you gotta take off because we gotta get these original standoffs off the machine because they're a little bit too long. And you can save these because if you do other pinball stuff, they would come in handy for other pinball stuff. So I save just about everything, just like some of these displays. I think I had one bad display in here, I can't remember. I think I had one bad display. It was either that or just that driver. I can't remember. But this is another display that I had saved. This is out of Lucky 7. Lucky 7 got this exact same kit in it. The exact same kit. Well, not this kit, but you know what I mean, the exact same kit. So I saved this. It let me make sure this was bad and not the computer or anything. So when I got the computer back from being rebuilt, that was dead, and I wanted to make sure none of my connections were bad or anything like that. So I just swapped them out and it worked. Actually, I borrowed one from the Arcade in Menominee Falls. I borrowed his because I wanted to make sure I had no switch errors or anything like that. So he let me borrow his and his worked perfectly. Once I made sure, after I got the new computer in, well, not the new one, the original one rebuilt, I put this one in just so I could play it. Just letting you know, this series is also being sponsored by DR Pinball and Marco Specialties. Get your boards rebuilt by DR Pinball and get all your parts by Marco Specialties. Wolfpack, I wanted to see if they would do a sponsor, and nothing. So, but they do sell excellent kit. I'm not gonna lie about that. I'd love them to sponsor me. You can see all the videos I've done about them, all their kits and everything. I highly like their kits. I love their kits, man. Their kits are awesome. But yeah, I wish they would do a sponsor deal with me or something. I think that'd be awesome too. Alright. These can get all unplugged. Now remember, this is a whole kit. This isn't just replace one display and you're done. This is replace all the displays. And these are different. These got plastic nuts on them, which is weird. Same standoffs, but they got plastic nuts instead of metal nuts, which doesn't make any sense because these are just grounding points. So it didn't matter if they touch or not. But apparently Williams did it for some reason. Don't know. Don't know. They had some reasoning behind it. If anybody knows why they put plastic nuts on here instead of the metal ones, let me know. put a comment in the description. That'd be interesting for me to know. Alright. I'm taking this last nut off. Now, all these original posts come off. And again, we're saving them. Just like all these displays are getting saved. Nothing's going to waste. You know, it looks like I got one extra new post. Yep. Apparently some of them might have had a post there. This one doesn't. So I will put this one in with the old ones. These ones I'm just going to screw down with my nut driver. It's gonna look so awesome. And it's gonna look factory. That's what I like about these Wolfpack kits. Everything's like brand new, but it looks factory. That one's spinning on the back, but it's down all the way. Let's get this crap out of the way. Make sure we're not pinching anything. Something feels like it's bunching in the back for some reason. Get this out of the way. Plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. Alright. Now what's in my way? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just feels like there's something in the way. But there isn't. Are you sure? Yeah, nothing. It's just the wires that are bunched up. Makes it feel like there's something in the way. We'll remedy that right away. No, there's nothing in the way. It's just nothing. Sounds like my wife's home. Go. This is like how it feels like there's something in the way. There isn't. I did find something in the way. Right there. The wire snuck behind the post. And that's what's in the way right there. Very good. There. Still feels like there's stuff in the way, but I know that isn't anymore. Let's do this. We'll put that there. Put this one here. Look at those tighten down since they're odd ones. There's nothing in the way. I hear a robot. Rocky, the vacuum cleaner, I think I heard him make noise. I still got more work to do on this Gorgar. A lot of work. It was a dead machine that I bought that was in storage from a friend that we brought back to life. There we go. See, aren't those sexy? There we go. Display test. As you can see, they look factory. They look like original plasma displays. What do you think? They look factory to you? They look factory to me. They look just as good as originals. There, now we got ball and play. As you can see, I got some dead stuff. Wow, look at that. I've never had that ball and play display. I got 2 dead pop bumpers and 1 dead slingshot. That's why it's not bouncing around. See, and they look factory. That's what's awesome about it. So now I have both digits, and they look factory. They look factory, I mean. Look at that. And they have the same characteristics of, you can see the faded like display when they're off. There. They got the same look to them. These are just like a little more grayer, but they got the exact same look to them. You would really never know these were LEDs in the machine while it's on. You can't tell. They're awesome. Anyway, so if you like this video and you think this Wolfpack stuff is pretty cool, give me a thumbs up. Please like, subscribe, and share. Like I said, this video has been sponsored by DR Pinball and Marco Specialties. So get all your board work done from DR Pinball and buy all your parts from Marco Specialties. There's a code MB150, MB as in Mark's Basement 150. If you spend $150 or more, you get free shipping if you use that code. So give me a thumbs up, take care, and check out the description. Like, subscribe, and later.